What's going on, people? What's really good? It's your boy Marv, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. Yes, sir. Back once again with another installment of the ever so popular, ever growing Movie Pass movement. Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to understand what type of movement this is. I'm not stopping. Summertime is the best time to do this. This is year round, but sometimes it's the best time to do this. Long story short, explain it again. I have the AMC Stubs Rewards Pass that allows me to see 4 movies a week for free for the price of one movie ticket a month. So basically, I'm paying like $25 a month, more or less, and I get to see equivalent of 12 to 16 movies a week. That's insanely a good offer. Discounts on like concession stands and stuff like that, bonus reward points so you can see other movies for free with friends or family, stuff of that nature. It is just an awesome experience. I chose AMC. I know there's other companies, but I chose AMC. So AMC, holla at your boy. This is what we're doing out here. Anyway, that brings me to another edition of the Movie Pass movement, which allows me to review movies. And I am going to get the vibes check on John Wick Ballerina. Now, should be a little more specific. It's from the world of John Wick Ballerina. Now, this is a nice little spin-off series in the John Wick universe. So it is not per se focusing on the character of John Wick. It is actually focusing on a whole nother character, and her name is Eve. I think it was, what was her last name? I think it was like Eve Marcel. No, that's a celebrity. I'm bugging. My apologies to Miss Eve Marcel. But her name, I think it was definitely a Latin name, and now I'm mad that I do not remember it. But I know in the movie her name was Eve Mercado. I don't even see. Marcel was a little close. Okay, so please do not come at me about this. So now we have another chapter in the John Wick universe that has nothing to do with John Wick set. So for those of you who are wondering, let's get this right out the gate, right? One of the things, this is probably my biggest ick of the movie, of the whole situation, was that the biggest surprise in the movie was the appearance of John Wick himself, right? And it made us all hype, like, oh snap, John Wick's gonna be in this movie. It looks like he's gonna fight the main character. What's going on? This is amazing. I love this. And for me, that was an ick because I felt like it kind of just, like, I get it. Movie companies gotta use certain tactics to spoil the movie, and that makes it suck because now it's like that might be one of the best parts of the movie. And is it the best part of the movie? Not really. But at the end of the day, my thing was that it still spoiled it. Because now imagine you're watching this movie and at some point in the movie, John Wick comes out. You're going to be like, yo, this is crazy. That's John Wick. He's in this joint. And you're going to have a lot of questions. Is he alive? Is he not alive? Like, what's going on? So for me, I would have been more hyped to just randomly see John Wick. But then I know a million people would have posted it online that he was in the movie. But I think what they were trying to do was, one, beat the internet trolls to the punch on the spoilers. And two, I think they were using it to lure people like myself to go watch this movie because we wouldn't have trusted it without John Wick. Case in point, if you remember the TV show The Continental, that TV series didn't have anything really to do with John Wick at all. I don't even think he was involved, the character. But the show was okay. But maybe had John Wick been like a little kid or something and did a couple roundhouse kicks, maybe we would have felt like, oh snap, this joint's kind of fire because John Wick's in it. Be that as it may, let's talk about the vibes for this movie. But I just wanted to throw out there, I didn't like the fact that they already had spoiled one of the best moments for the movie. I felt like we all should have took a chance on this film and let it be what it be, whether he's in it or not. So anyway, when I saw this film, right, when I first peeped it, I was like, all right, let's go see it. So the vibes is, this is a film that's basically about a young woman named Eve. Her family gets taken away from her at a very early age. And she watches her pops basically get, unalived right in front of her, because they try to kidnap her to turn her into basically the Winter Soldier. Let's put it that way. They try to make her a super soldier, and just go out and, be a mercenary, right? She still ends up technically doing that, but for, I guess, the good guys. And she gets found by Winston, who is a friend of her dad's, and he takes her in so she could fight for what's right, I believe. So she does cross paths with John Wick a couple of times. And I will have a brief spoiler. You already see in the commercial, and they do throw hands. And the funniest thing about that throwing hands scene is that John Wick really doesn't want to fight her. He's like, yo, just go. Like, he gives her a choice. I'm not going to explain the whole setup. Excuse me as I knock my mic over. I'm not going to explain the whole setup as to why they throw hands, because the movie is still fresh, so I don't want to spoil it. But I will say they do throw hands at a certain point. I'm not going to tell you who won or lost the fight, but I will say that Eve, the ballerina, John Wick puts that work without even really doing any work. But it was to also show, like, it's John Wick, y'all. What did you expect? It's the Baba Yaga. You know what I mean? Like, if you went into this movie thinking he was going to lose to her in the fight, that's on you. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't going to say whether he won or lost, but I am going to say, if you went in there thinking he was going to lose this fight, after you done seen this man go through 4 movies of packing people up easily in certain cases, that's on you. That's on you. That's on you. That's all I'm saying. So basically, that's what the movie's about. The girl grows up, becoming an adult. She becomes a trained, badass. She puts in the work, and she goes for revenge on the people that took out her father, and their chaos, as usual in the John Wick universe, ensues. Basically, what I like about this movie is what we all like about this movie. What we all like about the John Wick franchise is the non-stop thrill ride of action. Whether it's car chases or just burners being shot all over the place, or people trying to run the fade with weapons or with hands. It's just all of that and then some. Matter of fact, there was a fight that she had where she fought I could say technically the final boss, or just the final boss before the final boss, and fire was involved. And at a certain point, my man had fire on his leg and was kicking her. Does that remind you of anybody, anime fans? Oh, yes, it does. She was fighting Sanji for several minutes. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Homie was wearing all black. He had fire on his leg. He was kicking her while he had the fire on his leg. And he had blonde hair. That they had to be paying homage to Sanji without really paying homage to Sanji. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it was so much like that. The only difference that I'll say that he wasn't truly paying homage to Sanji was that this man was willing to endanger and harm a female, which is what Sanji will never do. So, be all that as it may, all that aside, it was just, that's what we come here for. Sometimes the story don't even got to be that fire. Just the action has to be that fire. And I hate to say it, because it's like, story does matter in movies, right? It's what drives the movie. But if one of its main selling points is like nonstop action, or seeing how people get taken out, or something of that nature, sometimes you just pull up more for that. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, the John Wick story to me is what it is. Like, I don't really fully follow it. I just know it was like, dude got pissed because his dog got taken out for no reason. He decided to get revenge, and then he just got in too deep and getting that revenge, and he was tired by the 4th movie. He was just like, yo, I just wanted to get revenge on my dog, bro. I'm not trying to fight all these other people. But what did it give us? 4 straight movies, each movie better than the last, no regression, and every movie was just fire. Just straight fire. So I also enjoyed this movie because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This was a movie where John Wick did not really even have to be involved in this movie at all. He wasn't even needed. He could have just like legit just maybe had a cameo at the end where he just kind of just like stood there and was just like, take care of yourself, and just walked off. And the movie still would have been fine. Like, Ana de Armas definitely did a better job than I thought she was gonna do. She does remind me of like Gal Gadot a little bit, because it's like you just hear her accent and then it doesn't really sound like she's trying to act. It just sounds like she's just speaking, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And then we also had like new entrants into the John Wick world, like Angelica Houston. I think she was in older movies, but this is the first time I recall seeing her. The legendary Angelica Houston, aka Morticia Addams. She played the director, the lady who helped raise Ana de Armas' character Eve and train her into becoming the woman that she ended up being. And then we also had Norman Reedus, aka Daryl from The Walking Dead, aka Sam Porter from Death Stranding. He played a pivotal role down the end as well. He even had a couple of cool fight scenes too, but he was more of a tactician with how he caught his goons. But again, once she got older, right? Even the first 5 minutes of the movie, but once she got older, that was where it all mattered. It was just straight fighting, right? This is what we come to see John Wick for. This is what we pull up to see John Wick 1, 2, 3, 4, the Continental, Ballerina, all of that. Because we just want to see some cool ass fight scenes. And that's what they made for us. That's what we spend our money on. And for those of you who are wondering, just to answer this question, it's not necessarily a spoiler, but for those of you who are wondering, why was John Wick even in this movie when he's supposed to be gone, excommunicado for life? The reason why is because this is a time period, that John Wick didn't pass away yet. He's still very much alive. So this movie takes place right before John Wick 4. So this is between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4. Some of the events might be a little bit earlier, but it's more between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4. So when you look at the timeline of a John Wick universe, it's the Continental first, then John Wick 1, 2, 3, Ballerina, then 4. And then if they do a 5, which I know they're trying to figure out how they're going to do a 5 when John Wick is supposed to be not with the world of the living anymore, then that'll take place when it needs to take place too. But this makes more sense because now they don't have to write a story in which John Wick somehow miraculously is still alive. They can just make stories where he was already alive and you don't got to question it. And I'm cool with that because this is a world where John Wick isn't just the only skilled fighter out there. As we already saw in the fourth one, there was Donnie Yen's character who was cooking people up. Then there was another girl who went for revenge on Donnie Yen. Then there was other people who wanted to take out John Wick. There was a dude with a dog just like John Wick. So all of these people could have their own stories. Somebody else could have their own story. Matter of fact, I think they was trying to give Donnie Yen's character, I think they was trying to give him his own story anyway. So we'll be on the lookout for that too. But you give us a story with a woman we've never heard of and it works itself out. And that to me is what makes this movie valid. It's a really good movie. The vibes on this are valid. It's a valid movie. You should go see it. Don't waste no time. It's fun. She's not the Baba Yaga. She's probably not even on his level fighting wise, but she did her job. She did her job. She had dope fight scenes. It still had that John Wick essence where it's like, how is this person going to get out of this situation? And then you see how they do. And the whole time you're on the edge of your seat like, whoa, oh. That is what I come to the movies for. That is where I walk out feeling ecstatic and feeling like my money was well spent. So big ups to everybody involved in that movie. John Wick Ballerina is dope, is valid. Go see it. I can't even really think it wasn't meant to be funny. So there's no real scenes to me that had me dying. But I will say, again, the John Wick fight wasn't even the best fight because you'll see why. It just wasn't what any of us expected. Talk no Jutsu is slightly involved, but I think if I had to choose one fight out of there that I'd probably rewatch, it wasn't even her fighting the guy, the Sanji type dude. It was more like, maybe when she went to the villain's hideout, I think that's when it was probably at its best, because it was just nonstop fighting. It was like the climax, and it was just fighting. So that might have been it. No. There was a fight scene where she got rocked while she was trying to drive away from somewhere, and homies was putting in the work on it. That was kind of cool too. Yeah, it had its moments. Anyway, I'm gonna stop right there. But yes, definitely go see John Wick Ballerina. It's a vibe. It's definitely fun. It's valid. Worth every second. I'm gonna catch y'all next time on another edition of Nerds in the Hood. If you saw this movie, write in there with your favorite fight scene. Matter of fact, write if you think she could actually beat up John Wick. Let's think about that. Let's have some fun with that. I already know the answers I'm gonna get, but I just want to see what y'all write anyway. And follow me on all social media using the link tree in the description below. And the Baba Yaga is excommunicado until next time. I'm not the Baba Yaga. Let me not disrespect that man. But I'm excommunicado until next time. I'll see y'all later. And one final thought. Rest well with my man Lance Reddick. They always find a spot for him in these movies, even though he is not with us anymore. And I appreciate that too, because he does a good job. Doesn't have to do much. It's just good enough. Peace.